Hey friends, it is Samara, and I'm so glad to be here with the December 2025 Flavors of the Month featuring Hard Candy Christmas. We get these stunning papers in some untraditional colors. I'm loving these pinks, magentas, yellows, and mints. They just look so great together. And of course, you know I love a good stripe. We get an assortment of die cuts as well as some foam stickers and even some little epoxy dots. We get these two cardstocks, which are just gorgeous, this cherry red. In the embellishment kit, we get a full-size sticker sheet. You guys know I love those full-size sticker sheets. And then in the pattern paper kit, you will get these two papers. That swirl is wow, but so is this fa la la. So let's go ahead and see how we're going to utilize this month's assortment of papers and embellishments. So I went back into the archive and I found those super cute pictures of my grandson making and decorating a little gingerbread house. Oh my gosh, so of course I want to feature that. Let's go ahead and trim this down to 12 by 12. And then we're going to come in and trim out my photos. So I know up in the Facebook group, somebody had inquired about printing at home. So I do print at home. I have an Epson PM400 printer. And I do print my pictures slightly smaller than 4 by 6. It's nice. You don't really lose too much, and it's fun to go a little bit smaller. It leaves you more room for embellishment. Sometimes if I'm using like 3 by 4s or smaller photos, I will edit those in a little app called Pick Frame, and that allows me to bring up various size photos up onto like a 5 by 7 or even a 4 by 6 photo paper. So the next paper that we're going to be using are these dots. You guys know me, I typically will go with like a solid background with like white or even colored cardstock. So I was challenging myself to really go wild with the pattern papers. So I think I did that. This white with the polka dots really helps to balance out and ground some of this very busy background. But you guys, I'm going to make it busier. So here I'm thinking I want to use this border sticker, and so I'm just trying to get an idea of what that would look like, and I'm happy with it, so we're going to go ahead and pull that off. First things first, we are going to adhere this down to the side, and I did want to try to keep an equal border around the 3 sides, so it did take me a little while of a little zhuzhing to get that in place. And then we'll put our sticker down, and rather than measure too critically, I just cut off one of the scallops. And then we have the struggle bus of me trying to get this sticker under there. Again, you guys, you know how I work. I glue things down and then I struggle. But so far it works for me. I haven't gotten myself into a mess I wasn't able to fix. So I do know that last month you guys were commenting on the sound in my videos. I apologize. We have major water damage in our house right now. And so we have fans going, and it's looking at like close to 6 months before we will have our kitchen back. My entire downstairs will have to be completely removed. Right now my kitchen is all the way down to the studs. It is crazy. So anyway, I have moved temporarily upstairs, so hopefully we have a little bit better of an experience, because I'm upstairs in a room with a door and carpet and all that good stuff. So I cut 8 by 8 paper here, and this is the fa la la paper, which is, like I said, gorgeous, but so is that swirl on the back. But I love this because, again, it just adds some little white space here. Even though it has embellishment on it, the paper still reads white. And so with all that is going on, it's balanced. I mean, it's literally balanced, but it's also balanced in your eye with all of the colors going on. Your eye has a place to rest. So now just sorting out the photos, I was thinking I was going to go with like a tilted photo, but in the end, I decided not to. But I did want to use this scalloped border punch. I bought these punches years ago and I really don't use them too much. And I'm really trying to get back into using, whether it's my border punches or some of my like metal dies. You know, we've got to use the supplies that we have purchased. And supplies like this are durable. They are not consumable. We're not going to use them once and throw them away. So we've got to pull them out and make use of them. Get the value. So I am going to just trim off like probably an inch or 3/4 of an inch here. And then I will use that to border my photos. But before we do that, I do want my photos to stand out a little bit. Again, just grounding them. So by using some paper with a little bit of contrast, I will make that picture stand out. So again, just putting my photos down, and then I will just trim them out on my trimmer. So question for you guys, what is your favorite trimmer? I have been using this Tim Holtz trimmer for almost a year. I actually saw a friend of mine win one at the ScrapRoom crop last year, and I was like, I have got to have that trimmer. So I bought it. I love it in some respects, but in others I don't. Like if you're using really fibrous papers, a lot of the fibers will get stuck down in the track of the trimmer. But I actually do like this trimmer because I feel like it cuts fairly accurately, which is something that I wasn't able to get with some of my previous trimmers. And I have all the trimmers. Well, maybe not all of them, but I have a lot of them. I have a Carl trimmer. I have like 3 or 4 Fiskars trimmers. So I don't know. I'm just curious. What kind of trimmers do you guys like to use? And then we're just going to pop up this one photo with some foam tape, and then you guys will see how I did adhere down that scallop border just to the 2 edges of the photos. 1 edge on each photo. Maybe that's what I meant to say. And let's go ahead and put that down. Now we're going to take a look at the embellishments that we received, and you would have received a slightly different assortment of embellishments. So I'm just going through and seeing like, what do I want to use on this? I am loving this little journaling tag, which of course I don't use it for journaling. But I loved the little candies on there. I thought it was perfect for a gingerbread house layout. So I decided to slide that underneath the corner of the photo there, just having a little bit of the grid poking out as well as those candies. And then I continue on through my embellishments and I see, are there any that I want to use? But in all honesty, I was really drawn towards this sticker sheet, which comes in the embellishment kit. So that is where I end up gravitating towards. So with your holiday traditions, do you do gingerbread houses or things like that? For us this year, Christmas is going to look entirely different. We are not decorating. So I'm going to have to get out to my grandkids' house and maybe make some cookies or participate in some of those traditions over at their house, since our house is a construction zone. Yay us, right? So I love this little Santa. I use my powder tool, so you don't really need a tool. It's just baby powder. That's all that it is in there. You refill it with baby powder. So you can just take some baby powder like in a tin or something and then just brush it over your stickers. And that just neutralizes the adhesive on your stickers, and it just makes them like die cuts. So it's perfect because you can pop them up or you can utilize them in more like a die cut. I loved these letters. They are going to spell out sweet. And it just really reminded me of like hard candy, which of course that's what this whole theme is. So I am going to pop up every other letter on here. So it's going to look, have like some of that 50s vibe to it. I forget what that was called. Like maybe it was like a mid-century art vibe where you had like the different shapes and stuff. Anyway, I'm going off on a tangent. So I absolutely loved those. So like I said, we're going to pop up every other letter and get those down. I can't think of a more perfect title than sweet. And look at him in those little Christmas PJs. Oh my gosh, so cute. So of course we have to have gingerbread people. So again, we'll just powder those babies up, get that adhesive off, and then we are going to put those stickers down. So I try them out in a couple of different spots. I actually love them there in that corner, but that is not where they end up. You see my thumb twitching there? I was like, oh my gosh, I get so excited when it comes to this part of embellishing a layout. Just like all of the stickers and the stuff that you get to add. I did love that little ribbon candy, but decided to go with the green just to kind of add some contrast with Santa. A couple of years ago, we came home to, we had been out for Christmas Eve and we came home to a gift on our porch. And it was so funny because I was like, oh my gosh, like all of our family is out of town or they were with us. So like who would have left this gift on our porch? And it was a box of ribbon candy and they were just absolutely gorgeous. I went next door to my neighbor to ask if maybe somebody left it on our porch by mistake. It was theirs. It was actually from them to us. But it had this gorgeous ribbon candy and just all of the colors. I had never seen anything quite like that. It was absolutely stunning. Just so colorful and bright and shiny. I love labels. I love tags. So I decided to layer those two labels in there just again for some movement around the paper, just some added interest. I really wanted to use that little Santa head there, but I already have the big Santa on the paper, so I decided not to use him. Now we're just popping in some of those enamel dots that do come in your main kit. And I did love this little foam holly. Oh my gosh, so cute. So fun little thing with your enamel dots is slide them under things so only peaks of them pop out. It helps to prevent sticker sneeze, and it just has them grounded a little bit. So I took my little holly jolly here, and I am going to powder this baby up. So normally it doesn't take this long to powder things, but you just powder it until there's it's no longer sticky. And we're going to put that down there on the paper at an angle. That is so cute. I'm going to pop up the top. I am not going to pop up the bottom. So the bottom will be flat against the paper. Just the top will be elevated. My general rule of thumb is I only go one dimension with my pop dots, so just one pop dot. I don't like things to be too bulky in my album. I love the look of it, but I don't necessarily like the bulk in the album. So I have several things pop dotted here, and here we go. Take care and Merry Christmas.